sure you have multiple ways of getting alerts if these storms do progress throughout the evening. Now let's take a look at our futurecast. Now we can see as these scattered storms continue, they'll start to line out after this front moves in and kind of makes them a little bit more elongated instead of the scattered storms that we are currently seeing. Once this happens, the threat for tornadoes and large hail will begin to dissipate, but the risk for higher winds will increase. So you can see all these arrows. That means that we are seeing very high winds. There is a wind advisory in addition to the severe weather that we are seeing today. These winds are about 20 to 30 miles per hour. Gusts could be anywhere from 40 to 50 miles per hour. So aside from storms, those are also particularly dangerous. Please be safe if you are outside at any point during tonight. Now, around 10 o'clock, the storms should be making their way completely out of the area. We're going to be seeing a few clouds here and there with those winds being left behind. By the morning, we should be seeing more winds coming from the west, very fast winds as well. And then we'll start to see some clouds making their way into the area by the afternoon, with those winds still staying pretty steady and pretty fast. By Saturday evening, we're going to be seeing clear conditions, pretty calm conditions as well. The winds will start to slow down a little bit, and that way we can have a more calm evening after all of the crazy weather we've been seeing over the past 24 hours. By Sunday afternoon and evening, we'll be seeing more clouds come into the area, be a little bit windier once again, and we'll start to see some rain making its way into the heartland after that. Right now here in Cape Girardeau, it is raining with 70-degree temperatures. Like I said, those winds 23 miles per hour from the south, so very fast winds. Please be careful if you are outside this time. In fact, try to get somewhere safe just in case. For the lows tonight, we can see 44-degree temperatures in Fredericktown with strong winds and storms, 47 in Van Buren, Perryville 44, Sykeston at 50, Mount Vernon is seeing 43-degree temperatures, Paducah at 47, Union City is going to have a low of 50 tonight. For our highs tomorrow, Fredericktown is going to see 60-degree temperatures with mostly sunny skies, 61 in Poplar Bluff, going to be 60 in Cape Girardeau, 57 in Carbondale with some partly cloudy and windy conditions. Marion will see 57 degrees and Paducah will see 60. For our 3-day forecast, we're going to have a little bit of a break over the weekend. We're going to see 67 on Sunday with sunny skies, so a nice break after all the rain today. Now going into the rest of the week, unfortunately, it does look like we're going to be seeing some scattered thunderstorm chances going into Tuesday and Wednesday, so make sure you have your First Alert weather app downloaded to get all of the updates.
All right, Madeline, thank you. Final rehearsals are underway for Sunday night's CMT Music Awards. The show will air on CBS and Paramount+. Nicole Baker is in Austin with more on what we can expect from some of the biggest names in country music.
The Moody Center in Austin, Texas is all abuzz as country music legends and newcomers prepare to face their fans. They alone will choose who takes home the CMT Music Awards Sunday night, including the biggest honor, Video of the Year.
Anything could happen.
CMT host Cody Allen is betting on Carrie Underwood, who's won 25 awards, more than any other artist.
I do think Carrie has a really good shot to win again. And maybe that's just because she's the perennial winner, like 5 years in a row.
The night will also feature a full slate of musical collaborations, including the Black Crowes and Darius Rucker, along with Winona Judd and Ashley McBryde. Alanis Morissette and Gwen Stefani will make their CMT debuts. Kelsey Ballerini and Kane Brown, they're teamed up to host the show for the 3rd year in a row.
Thank God for giving me you.
Brown will also perform his song Thank God with his wife, Caitlin J.
Hey guys.
Last week on TikTok, she gave us a peek inside the family tour bus. She says just a year ago, her complete focus was on raising the couple's 2 young children.
This is so crazy, to be honest. I don't know. I'm like, every time I tell Kane, I'm like, what am I doing here? I have no idea. Like, what is this?
Now, normally we see the CMT Music Awards in Nashville, but as you can see, they're rolling out the aqua carpet here in Austin. And musicians who are doing their pre-show prep say they can already feel the difference.
I think there's an energy in the audience, being in Texas. Real music lovers.
Shania Twain's also performing and receiving the 3rd ever CMT Equal Play Award, which recognizes an artist who is a vocal advocate for elevating diversity within country music. Nicole Baker, CBS News, Austin, Texas.
Fans can vote in the CMT Music Awards up until the award is presented Sunday night at 7 o'clock. If you can't land your dream job, maybe it's because of something on your resume. Today, Leslie Hudson reports on what you should take off of it.
Resumes include a lot of information about you, but experts say there are some things you should leave out. First, don't provide an unprofessional email address. This is a red flag for hiring managers. Refrain from including unnecessary personal information such as your age, your religious beliefs, or political affiliations, unless they are directly related to your desired job. And steer clear of photos. One report found 88% of resumes are rejected because they contain a photo. It's also best to leave out your current or previous salary, as this info could result in getting underpaid. Also, including your street address is no longer necessary and may pose a security risk. If you're looking to relocate, it might be best to remove your location altogether. Also, don't include spelling or grammatical errors. Surveys have shown this is the #1 resume mistake that can cost you the job. And it might sound obvious, but don't exaggerate or make dishonest statements. If your hiring manager asks for proof, you'll blow your chances at getting the job. With things to not put on your resume, I'm Leslie Hudson reporting.
One more study found more than 6 in 10 resumes contained at least one spelling mistake. Also, the average time employers spend reading resumes is normally only 6 to 7 seconds.
Just want to remind everybody that anybody in these yellow counties is currently in a tornado watch. So make sure that your phones are charged and you have multiple ways of getting alerts throughout the evening, including by downloading the KFES 12 weather app. And for your forecast for the rest of the evening, we're going to be seeing partly cloudy skies for tomorrow. We're going to be seeing sunny skies on Sunday, but there is another chance for some more severe weather coming in on Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll be tracking it.
It's time to dust off your crayons and color away. Today is National Crayon Day. Take the opportunity to sit down and color with the children in your life. You can post your crayon creations with the social media hashtag National Crayon Day. Here's a bit of trivia for you. Crayola crayons were produced for the first time more than a century ago, back in 1903. Today, the company makes 3 billion crayons per year. And it was quite a shock for a Massachusetts mom when thousands of dollars worth of Amazon packages just started arriving on her doorstep. Earlier this week, this happened. The culprit, a feisty 5-year-old who had momentary access to mom's phone. Leanna Falk has more.
Lila, tell me, why did you want to buy 10 motorcycles?
Because I wanted one.
What Lila wants, Lila gets. Here she is sitting on her throne of motorcycles outside her home in Westport, Massachusetts.
She ordered 5 pink motorcycles, 5 blue motorcycles, 10 pairs of cowgirl boots, and a Jeep.
Over $3,000 worth of goodies she ordered herself, and her mom, Jessica, didn't have a clue. All thanks to Amazon.
He just press all buttons and he press the brown button.
Jessica says she remembers giving Lila her phone to play some games in the car, or so she thought.
I had looked back at the time, it was around 9:30, which is exactly when we were in the car, so it wasn't fraudulent, it was just this one. The bikes and the Jeep came out to about $3,180. The boots alone were about $600.
And thanks to Amazon's 2-day shipping, Lila's ill-gotten gains arrived in no time at all.
These were actually non-returnable originally, but I had reached out to Amazon at 2 o'clock in the morning and I was like, please, if there's anything that we can do.
They eventually obliged and sent the return labels, and thankfully she was able to cancel those cowboy boots before they left the warehouse. As for the Jeep,
we still have a giant 2-seat Jeep coming in as well that I couldn't cancel the order, but they are going to let me return it.
Are you going to feel sad when all the motorcycles go away?
Yes.
Instead of a punishment, Jessica is using this as a teachable moment for her daughter.
I did tell her that maybe if she, acts right, she behaves, and she does some chores around the house, that we can get her a bike that's more geared towards her age range. A little slower, maybe.
Ooh, wow. Xander would be in big trouble if he did that. That's all the time we have for Heartland News Now. Heartland News at 5 is coming up next.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Thank you.
1, 2,
Be careful
3.
going
Mic
home.
check. 1, 2, 3.
It's a First Alert Action Day here in the Heartland. I'll show you where we're tracking storms.
President Biden pledging additional federal resources to areas recovering from major storm damage. I'm Willie James Inman at the White House with details on the president's trip to Rolling Fork, Mississippi.
And former Vice President Mike Pence sounds off on the indictment of former President Trump. You'll hear what he has to say coming up on Heartland News at 5.
Heartland News is sponsored by Southeast Health. Heartland News at 5 starts now.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is a First Alert Action Day here in the Heartland. Damaging winds and tornadoes remain a threat.
The storms are supposed to end later tonight. Madeline Parker has the latest in your First Alert at 5.
Well, Jeff, Kathy, we are seeing it. There are some red spots over here. Those are radar indicated tornadoes. Those are outside of our viewing area. It is right up against Reynolds County, but it is not into our area yet. Brian Allworth is here and he is tracking those storms to give you the up-to-date latest. Going forward, we can see that we are having a little bit of a threat of those storms, and I can tell you exactly what we are looking at. The biggest threats we're going to be seeing tonight are tornadoes, high winds, and large hail. Now, we have a moderate risk for tornadoes, so those are scattered thunderstorms that we are seeing, which are very conducive for producing tornadoes, and that's what we are really looking out for. We are also looking at these high winds. We are seeing 20 to 30 mile per hour winds with 40 to 50 mile per hour gusts, and that's outside of the storm. So please be careful if you are driving anywhere. Please try to get somewhere safe and try to stay home if you can. Then we also see some large hail. Now there's a moderate risk for that. The flooding isn't as much of a risk for this kind of storm, but we are still tracking that. Now get out your cell phones because I want you guys to all take your phones, open the camera and point it at your screen and download the KFVS 12 weather app. If you download that app, you can get as many alerts as you can to stay with the most up-to-date information. Now, all of these counties in the yellow, those are tornado watch counties. Those are the areas where the conditions are favorable for tornadoes. There is not a tornado there, but the conditions are favorable. So make sure you are staying weather aware if you live in any of those counties. I'll have you give more information coming up.
Thank you, Madeline. Here's a look at the CBS station in Little Rock, Arkansas, capturing a tornado live on the air. This is the same system moving up through the boot heel. Now, according to the Associated Press, a twister plowed through Arkansas's capital and surrounding areas, ripping off roofs and toppling vehicles. The AP spoke to a county official who says so far they have reports of one person being critically injured. Emergency management teams across the Heartland spent the day working to keep you safe during this severe weather threat. Butler County's EMA Director Robbie Myers says they spent the morning talking to schools, making sure they had good safety measures in place. According to Myers, his team works closely also with police and severe weather experts to track the storms. He says keeping everyone safe during severe weather takes a group effort.
We work also collectively with all of our partners in Southeast Missouri. And if things were to get bad, the Homeland Security response team, we got based in Sykeston and Cape Girardeau. We've already been on phone calls, and if we need that, that's another group that can help us if things were to get too bad and we needed some response or rescues or anything along that line.
Myers says as storms continue, they'll be working to keep the community informed and keep everyone safe. President Biden visited Mississippi today to see the damage there from tornadoes that tore through the streets of a small town last week. He brought with him news of government assistance to help those impacted by that storm system.
Willie James Inman has more details from the White House.
The destruction in Rolling Fork, Mississippi is immense. Homes reduced to piles of rubble, cars flipped over, trees and electrical wires down. President Biden toured tornado devastation